Going rounds, fist flying, no bounds. Podcast kings, we pound for pound. UFC thrills, stills nights get loud. Big EQB, that's how we get down.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. Back at it again with another episode and ready to go for UFC 326. The BMF title's up for grabs. But if Max Holloway has it his way, he's going to get a win and have his wife wrap that belt around his waist, I guess. And Charles says he wants his dad to do it if he wins. But I think we're going to get a pretty good fight out of that one. I don't think these guys are going to take it. I don't think these guys are going to take it like carefully or easy. I think it's going to be a good fight. The rest of the card, it is what it is. There's some decent fights on there. I'm not too mad about it. I get it. You know, it's supposed to be a pay-per-view. It's a numbered event, and we should be getting better fights. But listen, we already know what it is. It's the fucking White House card. We got a banger-ass card for 327. And then we got all this boxing shit going on. Not that that matters as to what's going on with the UFC and their events, but we got all this news happening. We got Dana White's more focused on boxing, it seems like. We all know how it goes. This is the way it's been this entire year since Zuffa Boxing's come in, since this year started. It's just been one of those things. But that's what we're here to do, talk about it all. And there's definitely been some news. People in the chat already talking about Dana White, Eddie Hearn, Tom Aspinall. If you haven't heard the news, we're going to get into it for sure. But as you can see in the chat, everyone's talking about it already. So quick preview of that before we actually get deep into it is Tom Aspinall signed with Eddie Hearn for management. That's it, just management. But if you know what's happening with all that, Eddie Hearn and Dana White kind of have some beef, even though they kind of try to make it act like it's not. We know what's going on. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because there's a lot of things that go into that. It may sound like very petty and on the surface, but there is a little bit more deeper things that could be possible in the future, depending on how everything goes with this. So we'll get into that here in just a minute, because obviously that's going to be my first topic once we get into them, because that just happened we just learned about all this today. So the press conference just ended a little bit ago. Nothing crazy going on there, but Dana White was asked a couple things about it, and he didn't have too much to say. But we'll talk about that too when we get into it. And of course, we got a preview from the bottom to the top. We got to preview that whole entire UFC 326 card. Of course, that's what we do. And there's also Zuffa Boxing. Speaking of boxing, speaking of Zuffa and Dana White, it's all tied in together, man. That's the way it goes, which is why I cover UFC, because, listen, I don't have the time to cover everything or follow everything. And I say that all the time, but it's the truth. And I've been into UFC for so damn long that's what I know the most about. That's what I follow the closest, and that's what you're going to get the most of on this show. So I apologize if you want to go in depth with other things. It might not always happen. We get to talking about a lot of stuff in here. The chat goes crazy, and they always have questions. You guys always have questions and stuff for me, and topics to discuss. So I'm cool with that, and it makes the show go. So I like it. It's fun. And this is what we do. We already know. So yeah, we're back at it. Thursday, getting close to that weekend, getting close to UFC 326. The week hasn't been so bad. Today was a bit stressful for me. I thought I was going to be caught up quite longer than I was. And I had all my prep ready because I kind of knew how today was going to go for work. So, but it's all good because I actually got out of there earlier than I thought, and nothing went too crazy. Right on, Infinity. Thank you. Thank you to everybody else in the chat already, too. Tyler Betts jumping in early. Johnny jumping in early. And Antoine. Antoine's here as well. Yo, what up, Antoine? He's doing his show right now, too, but he says he'll pull up in a minute. We got you, man. We're used to it. We know how it rolls on Thursday. At least I know, because I'm subscribed to your show, and I see it pop up. So I'm like, yep, he'll be in. a little bit after we get going. So no big deal. Shit, what else is going on? Not a whole lot. I mean, yeah, we just had that news hit today. Couple other things we can talk about. You know, the basically the Zuffa boxing stuff has been been in the forefront lately, because all the stuff with Conor Ben, everyone has opinions about the whole Conor Ben thing, but it's just one of those things. It's kind of at the point where nothing different's gonna happen. Everyone's just gonna bitch about it for a minute. Everyone's gonna ask questions about it to the fighters and try to get them to answer, and really put forth some effort in either being against it or not caring. And some guys are going in a little bit on it, but not really. So it's tough. I guess the biggest thing with that is the fact that we learned that pretty much Conor Ben's not going to be fighting on a Zuffa boxing event. He's going to be fighting on a ring card against who was it? Oh my God, I just had the name in my head. But either way, it's going to be on a ring card. And, you know, they say, of course, Dana White's going to be involved in the promotion and all this other stuff. But we saw how that went with Canelo and Crawford. I mean, Dana was there. He looked very unhappy and uninterested. And I don't think it went down like he thought it was going to go down, as far as what he was going to be involved with and how it was going to work for him. So being a promoter in the sense that he thought he was going to be a promoter in, and I think that's how it's going to go down for Conor Ben, but he's signed to Zuffa, so it's weird. It's all weird stuff, and I think that's why some guys are just like, you know, the Saudis are basically putting up that money, so who gives a shit? But it's still a problem, because he's signed to Zuffa, and Zuffa's giving one guy for one fight $15 million, and that's going to ruffle some feathers, of course. We talked about that. But, man, it's just one of those things that just doesn't end. It doesn't end, and it's not going to. And we'll see what other, you know, we have Jaya Pataya fighting his first fight with Zuffa Boxing in an actual Zuffa Boxing event, which we'll touch on that as well. But they're having that event this weekend, too. And it'll be his first fight. And they have a new belt that they released for Zuffa Boxing, which I know I showed some visuals of the belt, what I thought was going to be the belt, but apparently that was just their kind of just temporary belt that they did for, you know, for the video that they made. And now they have a full belt, and I have a whole visual explaining what every part of it is. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't think it's too bad. It's a belt. It is what it is. But we'll get to that here in a few as well. Before I get too far, though, I will thank my sponsor, of course, because I always got to hit the Noctane smelling salts before I get too deep into everything. Let me turn off this fan, because that air will affect it. And I'm wondering, this was pretty strong last week after I kind of refreshed it. So let's see how it goes. I got the red cap. It's the most potent bottle. Of course, there's a couple other potencies. You can add different scents to it. It lasts a decent amount of time as long as you take care of it, and it's pretty affordable and it's effective. You can learn all about it by scanning that QR code. That'll take you to their website. That's fun to look at and informative. There's a link in the description below, as always. So let me take a little whiff of this and get going. Oh shit, the cap is stuck. All right, there we go. I need to clean off this cap. It's a little messy. Here we go. Oh, yep. One hitter quitter this time. Holy shit. Woo. That was a good one. That was a good one. Oh my God, my eyes are burning. Let's get that fan back on, because it's already getting hot here in Arizona. I mean, damn. We just got out of February, and it's already like, it's already getting hot. And I'm sure Infinity's even hotter up where he is. And yeah, it gets hotter over there. So, but yeah, it's crazy. You would think, I was looking at, I think I saw something from a few years ago when it was like snowing at the beginning of March, which is weird. Man, the weather in Arizona is stupid. But anyway, thank you, Noctane, for the sponsorship, of course. Appreciate you for that. Oh, I hit the wrong button. There we go. And let me take a sip and we'll get into things because, yeah, I'm ready to go. I want to talk about what happened with Tom Aspinall and everything. So let's get that going. And we'll get started. Tom Aspinall. Well, first of all, the biggest thing that I saw in the beginning was that he says, back to business with the crown and the punch emoji and or the fist emoji, whatever you want to say. But yeah, we saw that first. And of course, everyone's going nuts saying, oh shit, he's back. He's going to be back soon. And then we get the news today also about him signing to Matchroom talent agency, which has just been basically put together. Now, obviously, Eddie Hearn is a professional. We know that. He's a promoter. He's been around the boxing world for so long. We know he knows what he's doing, right? If you know anything about kind of what happens in boxing or anybody involved with boxing. So Eddie Hearn is a big part of that. And you're gonna hear his name a lot when it comes to boxing because he has a bunch of fighters that he's been involved with one way or another, and he's involved with a lot of different fights. But him and Dana have had this thing, especially because of the Conor Benn signing. That was like, they had their little beef here and there early on, and of course, them just being like big guys in the promotion, whether it's for MMA, I should say in combat sports altogether, they're both very big in what they do. Obviously, we know Dana White being just the biggest guy, the face of the UFC, basically. And Eddie Hearn has Matchroom. And they've had little beefs here and there, little tiffs. They've been friendly here and there, even throughout this Zuffa boxing thing. But right away, when the whole Ali act was supposed to be like revived or whatever, and or switched up, and Eddie Hearn was talking about how it wasn't going to be good for the fighters, and it wasn't going to be what people thought it was going to be, and that Dana White was basically just trying to make it where the way that the UFC is, where the fighters do not have to disclose or can't disclose what they're making, or don't have to, I guess. Basically, the boxers have to kind of say what they're making. That's just kind of what it is. The purses are disclosed always, and that's just not how it goes for the UFC. You hear about this, you hear about that, there's rumors, but there's never any foolproof, and there's always other forms of payments happening around, from what I understand. So the biggest thing about it is that, Eddie Hearn feels like Dana White's trying to make it too much like the UFC with the revision of the Ali Act and all that shit. I don't know a whole lot about all that. It's just what I've heard since all of it's been surrounding, since Dana White's tried to get all of that going. But and a lot of that stems from Conor Benn having to say how much they signed him for one fight, because obviously that's caused ripples. Blind Tom better fight soon to be able to pay Eddie, but I'm sure the pay goes with the fights they work out. Yeah, I'm sure it does. And with Eddie just starting this and Tom being the first guy to sign, I mean, he's gonna want to, and I also think it's out of spite on both their parts, because with the Conor Benn signing, like I was saying, Conor Benn signs with Zuffa, kind of just ghosts Eddie Hearn, doesn't want to talk to him. And when Eddie Hearn's been there for him, and they've, it seemed to me like they had this whole relationship that was kind of a little deeper than just a partnership in what they were doing. And I just mean that in the way that, Eddie Hearn actually cared about Conor Benn, and he thought it went both ways. Maybe they thought they were better friends than that. They've been through a bunch of business deals and fights and stuff like that. He's been, with Conor Benn for a while. And for him to just kind of ghost him after signing with Zuffa, not even wanting to talk to him, he said that Conor Benn didn't even want to call him back in order for them to have the chance to match. It just caused him issues. He was upset, visibly upset about it. So then we turn it around a little while later and we see this. Now, Tom Aspinall's had issues with Dana because since the eye pokes and the injury and the surgeries, it seems like Dana has kind of talked down on what he's dealing with. And so, of course, Tom comes out and says he doesn't appreciate that shit. And then Dana comes out and says, don't ask me shit about Tom Aspinall's eyes. Go ask him. God forbid I say anything about it. And so also Tom's dad told Dana White basically that, he told somebody, and of course it got back to Dana White. He tells somebody that basically they want to fight out their contract so then he can go box and make the money he thinks he deserves because he's not making that money in the UFC. And that ruffled some feathers too. Obviously, Tom wasn't too happy with the fact that, his dad said that, but it did seem like, guess what? That's my dad. You're not gonna no one's gonna talk shit about my dad or anything like that, right? So any of the backlash from that got thwarted from Tom, and of course he sticks up for his dad. And then he has this little thing with Dana White after the injury and stuff like that. He's like, fuck what he says. I did watch the press conference too, for the most part. So this Zuffa situation has UFC champs turning their heads, bro. Shit might get crazy. It might, man. It might. That Andre, what is it? Andre, welcome in. Appreciate you for jumping in. And yeah, it actually does have guys that matter noticing what's happening, and that might actually make a difference. So this whole thing with Eddie Hearn and Tom Aspinall, it definitely is it's putting some ripples in the water, you know what I'm saying? So Antoine said, you think Tom goes to boxing and he actually boxed? Well, like I said, that was his plan. He was already talking about boxing. Infinity said Tom doesn't seem like that kind of striker to me. Tom's definitely a high level striker. That's mostly what he's known for. So I think that, I think it's not a far stretch for him to go to boxing, but we've seen what happens to MMA fighters that go to boxing. Now Tom is before he got injured, before all the criticism from that, everyone just talked about how dangerous he was, the finishes he's had and all that. So I mean, as good as you might think he might do, I worry about it because MMA fighters that have gone to boxing just haven't done well. Sure, Francis knocked down Tyson Fury. Yeah, I was about to switch it up, but that, and arguably, he, some people might have thought that he got that win over Tyson Fury, but look what happened to him when he fought Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury is one of those guys that'll take shit easy sometimes. So, and sometimes he's out of shape, and he might have just thought, hey, I'm fighting an MMA fighter, and he made a mistake, but he still got the win. Isn't the thing with Hearn just a management thing? No boxing? They just gonna put him in more commercials and give him more sponsors and shit, and negotiate his relationship with the UFC. What's the criteria of doing well? Yeah, so you're right, Tua, for sure. That is what he is just signed with a management company. That's really what it is right now. Talent agency, management company, whatever you want to call it. And he's the only one in this company right now. And they're doing this, like I said, more than likely just out of spite, but it makes sense. It makes sense because they're from the same areas, and Eddie Hearn knows that he can get to Dana this way. So Dana gets Conor Benn and he gets Tom Aspinall to then insert himself in negotiations when it comes to Tom Aspinall's fights. Now, Ariel Helwani made a good point earlier talking about the fact that the UFC will and can kind of pick and choose who they want involved in those negotiations. They've told management to stay out of the room. They've not allowed fighters to have certain management just because they would be like, hey, listen, we don't like this guy. You would probably be better off going to this guy, and then make it difficult for them. Now, that doesn't sound very ethical, but this is what Ariel Helwani's claiming. I can understand some of that because there is what looks like a little bit of favoritism in some of that, in some of those negotiations. Looks like Tom is 20 feet tall. Oh, you mean in the picture next to the plane? I was gonna say, against Eddie Hearn, he doesn't look that much bigger. Eddie Hearn's a big dude. It's crazy. I like how they framed that photograph behind them and that fixture on the art piece. Somebody got money. Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. If I could play that song to it, believe me, I would. But you know, copyright bullshit, I can't do that. But anyway, I would love to, because that would be great. I would definitely play different music if I could. So anyway, yeah, there's all that. But the thing with Tom Aspinall going to boxing, of course, this is just for management with Eddie Hearn, right? So Eddie Hearn gets to insert himself in negotiations, like I was saying. And that's kind of funny, just because that gets at Dana White. Dana said in the press conference, just like someone asked him, and he goes, Eddie Hearn can manage whoever he wants. I don't give a shit. But you know, when he says stuff like, he's got that mean look on his face, and he goes, Eddie Hearn can have whatever fighters he wants. I don't give a shit. And that's the only time you get any kind of excitement out of Dana. Like when he goes on to announce his banger of a card at 327 to tell us that Poatan vacated his title, which has other implications. And he goes on there and goes, what's up, guys? How's it going? So, Yuri Prohaska versus Carlos Holberg for the undisputed heavyweight title, happening at UFC 327. And we got a bunch of other fights. And then, oh yeah, Poatan, Alex Pereira, he's vacating. So yeah, but then you talk to him about Eddie Hearn getting managing fighters, and he goes, I don't give a shit. He can do whatever he wants. It's like, what, dude? What the fuck are we talking about? So he gets crazy. He gets upset about it, and you could tell. Also, do you think fighters will ever make boxer money by like UFC 600? I don't know, man. Over Dana's dead body. Oh shit. I mean, that's about right. What Tyler said there. Oh, Infinity said no. I mean, I don't know that it's a definite no, but because anything can happen, because we know that, you know, but look at what Tua said earlier, which was, or was it Tua? No, Andre said earlier that you know, they got champs turning their heads. So shit could get crazy. I mean, if all it takes is for the guys that matter in the UFC right now to take a stance, because the lower level guys, they don't give a shit about them. They're easily replaceable according to the UFC. So it's just one of those things where it could happen if they decide to take action. But damn, I mean, we've seen this before. So throughout the years, so many times, all the lawsuits and all this bullshit, like they just pay them off and they're just like, whatever. It's a drop in the hat, you know. I'm giving up love to the hustlers, all the oh shit. I started that and I knew right away what the fuck I was saying. UFC 600 sounds awesome. Jesus, we just got through, what are we at, 326 now? So yeah, I'll only look forward to 400. 350 should be Raw. But yeah, I mean, UFC fighters making that kind of money, I don't know. What do you think happens for unranked fighters making millions? What do you think has to happen for unranked fighters to make? I don't think that's way further past even the higher level guys making millions. Like the kind of millions that boxers make. Because even in boxing, the lower level guys don't make that money. Only the big name guys make the fucking hundreds of millions or fucking 20s and 30s of millions, however you want to say that. They're the only ones that make that money. You know, not all boxers are making that kind of money, and that's the point that Dana White says all the time. But the problem is that when not even your highest level guys, your most the guys that bring asses to the seats and eyes to the screens to watch what you're putting out there, even those guys that bring the most attention, even those guys don't get paid that much. So that's one of the things that is a problem. They don't even get paid as much as some of the lowest level of higher level, if that makes sense, boxers that get paid a lot. And that, so unranked fighters making millions, I think is further, but they should definitely be making more than they are. 10 and 10, 12 and 12, 15 and 15, like 15 to show, 15 to win at the most when you're just jumping into the UFC is rough. And that sounds like a lot to some people, but it's not a lot when you think about everything that goes into what happens with that money. They have to pay for their training camps. They have to pay for their food, unless they're lucky enough to train out of the PI. Then they get all that stuff for free, kind of, I think. I'm not exactly sure how that all works, but the training and stuff for sure is way less than having to pay for the camp themselves. And that a lot of that money goes to a lot of that managers, everything, everybody behind the scenes, training partners, everything. So yeah, even some medical expenses, and that money goes fast. If you only have one fight in the year and you got maybe 15 to 20 grand tops, think about making 20 grand in a year. If you don't have another job, that ain't shit, especially these days. So that's the tough part. So, but I don't think that lower level fighters will be making millions. I think that they should at least have, more than 20 grand. That's for sure. Especially I don't know what to say about what they should make. I haven't gotten that deep down into it, but I do know that the lowest level of pay right now is just way too low. But who am I to say, right? So this is all interesting because of the ripple effect it's having. We know we're gonna hear more about this from Dana. People are gonna ask more questions to Dana, especially post-fight press conference on Saturday, because who knows what's gonna happen between now and Saturday. Is Dana White gonna take another shot at Eddie Hearn? Is Eddie Hearn gonna take another shot at Dana White? Ariel Helwani said something like he asked Eddie if he was planning on scooping up any more MMA fighters, and he just kind of left it open to probably. So who knows who else Eddie Hearn takes on. So this is all just interesting shit, because Tom Aspinall now could be in trouble. And what I mean by that is, we all know that as soon as the UFC heard that he was looking to fight out his contract and move over to boxing, things kind of changed with their relationship. And then he gets the eye poke stuff happen. And everybody keeps asking Dana about it. Dana puts in his 2 cents, like, oh, he's going to be fine. Oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, it wasn't that big of a thing. Oh, it's just, yeah, he had some issues with his eye. He'll be fine in a couple days, when he didn't really know what the fuck was going on. And that's what Tom said. He said, listen, you have no idea what's going on. You're not in the room with the doctors. Watch my video. You can see exactly what they said. It's a little more serious than that. But here we are, in the beginning of March, and Tom's already saying, I saw a couple posts from him saying that he wants back in the cage ASAP. And is that a push from Eddie Hearn telling him, hey, get to the end of your contract, get back in there, let's negotiate for the money you deserve? That's going to make it more difficult for Tom to get a fight. So we could see Tom out for even longer than, or as long as we initially thought, considering the eye issues. He did say we have to, they have to finish healing up or whatever. But now with this issue going on, the UFC is going to make it difficult for him. There's absolutely no way they don't. And I don't know that they give a shit about his, how much the fans like him. I don't think Dana was a big fan of Aspinall calling John a duck either. Who knows, man? That might be. But Dana's just going to have some issues. And you can already tell just by his reaction to the question today. So there's a lot more to be seen here. I'm sure coming up in the next few days, we'll see what happens by the time Saturday hits and we see that post-fight press conference with Dana. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of questions because that'll probably be the next time we get to see him in front of the mic and getting questions from people. So yeah, that's a good point. Hearn gonna advocate for Tom like a motherfucker. Oh, he definitely is. He definitely is because he's gonna want to irritate the shit out of the UFC, especially Dana White. Tom's already pissed off with the things that have happened with Dana White and the shit that he said, and everything's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult, and Eddie Hearn's definitely gonna push for bigger, better things for Tom Aspinall now that he's representing him. I think the only reason is why UFC fighters can't get paid is popularity, period. Get that paid as popularity. What do you mean? Like, because they aren't that popular? Is that what you're saying? Tom gonna retire by the end of the year? Unranked fighters are nobodies in the grand scheme. Well, I mean, if you mean that in the aspect of combat sports in general, that's, I mean, sure. If you mean that just in the UFC, I feel like then I would say it's like that everywhere. Like I was saying, the lower level boxers don't get paid as much as you might think. So, yeah, it's just a tough situation, man. I just think that if you get the higher level fighters to get paid more, what did they say? The rising tide raises all ships or something like that. Whatever that saying is, I can't even think of it right now. But basically the guys up top get a higher pay. It'll trickle down to the lower level guys, and while they still might feel like they need more money, even though yeah, exactly. then it's still going to be better than what they're getting paid now. But the fighter pay talk never ever stops, and it doesn't seem to ever change. Even the UFC claims, even with the Paramount deal, that things are going to get pay is going to get raised, but they started with the bonuses, and sure, that's cool. You get $100,000. Yeah, that's great because that's all that some people make in a year. But you have to they only hand out 3 or 4 of those. So 3 or 4 out of 9 to 10 fights, 12 fights. Spaceships don't come equipped with rear-view mirror. Yeah, some shit like that. One of those goddamn sayings. But yeah, so it's the stupid fighter pay shit's never gonna end. But we could see a big change if Eddie Hearn comes in, scoops up a bunch of fighters, and hard negotiates for them to the point where the UFC has to start paying people more, and that's gonna affect everyone in a good way, hopefully. So we'll see. But the UFC kind of has a monopoly on the MMA game right now. There's not a whole lot of competition. There's not a whole lot of places that guys can go, and they are the pinnacle of the sport. That's where everybody's trying to get to. So that makes a difference when guys just want to be in the UFC and they'll just settle. Max Holloway said this about fighters not sticking up for each other, using Derek Lewis as an example for when John Jones turned down a fight for, and said he wanted like 10 million, and, he turned down the fight and was being difficult, and Derek Lewis goes, shit, pay me 1 mil and I'll get in there and fight. And that's pretty much what happened. And Max is saying that's the kind of shit that hurts, fighters in general, because if you're undercutting each other, you're showing that they don't have to pay anybody. They'll find someone else that'll do it for cheaper. So that causes a problem for everybody. And so that was kind of a shit move for Derek Lewis, but at the same time, you got to get that money. He jokes around a lot. So if that was kind of a joke and they took him serious and offered it to him, of course he's going to take that. He'll just say it's John Jones's loss. But he doesn't understand what happens to the rest of the fighters with that, because that just shows and proves that the UFC can just undercut anybody, including one of their biggest stars, and give it to somebody who's willing to do it for less. And that sucks. That really sucks. So this will definitely be something we want to follow and find out what else happens next. Looks like Eddie Hearn says he's gonna have some other kind of news coming out the beginning of the week next week. So I guess we'll see. All is good. Thank you, Mike Piazza, Maine. Thanks for jumping in. All is good. Appreciate you. Here you go.
What's happening with you, man?
Fair point by Max Holloway. 100%. Yeah, Max definitely hit that one on the head. That's I mean, you don't really hear Max Holloway getting serious about shit sometimes, but it was a good point for sure. And he kind of repeated himself with different questions. He was also on Demetrius Johnson's podcast, and it was a good one. So if you guys are interested to hear Max Holloway talk about some stuff, he got into some different topics and stuff like that were pretty damn good on Demetrius Johnson's Mighty Cast. It's a pretty good one. He gets a lot of fighters on there, and I actually like it. I've been enjoying the hell out of it, so you can check that out too. Demetrius Johnson, man.
What's happening with you, man?
Yeah, Mighty Mouse is cool. All right, so let's hit up this Zuffa boxing real quick, because we got the first fight for Zuffa boxing for Jaya Pataya versus Brandon Glanton, who he was man, he got asked some questions, and he was just either in a bad damn mood or something, but he was just going off and was talking shit. I don't remember everything that was said, but basically it was just kind of like people talking about him as if he didn't matter, and Jaya Pataya was basically everything about the entire fight, and he seemed a little pissed about all that. So yeah, but we got Zuffa Boxing 4 happening, and if you remember, Zuffa Boxing 3 was that banger of a card that was happening while I was on the show, and Antoine was all over it, telling me about all the craziness happening. I think Tua, you were watching it too, or someone else was watching it, but someone else was watching it, updating me, and yeah, it was a damn good fight card. There was some great fights, a lot of finishes. So we'll see what Zuffa 4 has for us. It started off a little bit slow with the first two events, but then 3 hit, and that was a banger. And now we have Jaya Pataya, a big name coming into Zuffa boxing for them, and of course at the Meta Apex, which is crazy that's where that's happening. But as we know, Jaya Pataya is a pretty talented boxer, 29-0. He's got 23 KOs. Glanton is 21-3, so you know, not too far off from the amount of experience that Apataya has. MMA adjacent. T. Howard is on podcast again. So we got Brandon Glanton at 21-3, Jaya Pataya 29-0, and like I said, 23 KOs for Apataya. And yeah, I think his last 4 fights were finishes for him, and then he had a decision, and then a whole streak of finishes before that too. So he definitely is talented and one of the bigger names to jump into Zuffa. And I mean, this could be a decent fight. We'll see what Brandon Glanton has for him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Glanton. I haven't really heard about him much, but you know, he's 21-3. And let's see. Let me take a look real quick at. He won his last fight by TKO against Marcus Brown. He lost before that by decision, but all of his other fights, he only has like 1 or 2 decisions in there. Everything's TKOs. So he does finish a lot of fights too. So we could get a damn good fight out of this one. It looks like Alpataya is more of a technician, but he has real knockout power, as we know, with those 23 KOs. Glanton is a heavy hitter himself, but he's riding on a streak of knockout wins. And yeah, it's just, I don't know a whole lot more about him, besides the fact that we could definitely get a banger of a fight out of this one, or a quick knockout from Apataya if that's how that goes. We got a few other fights going on here. Some Mexican on Mexican crime. Ricardo Salas versus Jesus Saracho. That's happening in the 147 division. Adam Palma versus Pablo Rubio Jr. 14-0 for both of those fighters, so one of those O's got to go. And that's in the 126 division. We got Vlad Panin versus Shenard Bunch. Joshua Juarez versus Jorday Anderson. I think that's how you say his name. 14-0 for Juarez, 11-1 for Anderson. And then we got some guys that are a little bit lower there with experience. 4-1 for Ramos, Jacob Ramos, Ethan Perez, 8-0. Brady Ochoa, sorry, 9-0 versus Adrian Serrano, 6-0. So a lot of undefeated fighters have getting fights on this card. And we also got Alvarado versus Eric Rosado, 10-0 for Alvarado, 16-4 for Rosado. So that's your card for the Zuffa Boxing 4, and that will be happening on Sunday, March 8th, which is this Sunday. So you got some boxing on Sunday after you get UFC 326 on Saturday night. And that's what seems, Zuffa Boxing seems to be happening on Fridays or Sundays. That's kind of how they've been going so far. So we'll probably get more of that coming up in the future. All right, let's get to this UFC 326 event. And oh shit, I forgot. Hold on, my bad. The Zuffa belt. Here's your first full look at the championship title for Zuffa Boxing. As you can see, it looks a little bit like a combination of the BMF belt / the UFC, you know, the regular UFC title. I mean, it doesn't look half bad. It's not the most flashiest thing in the world, but you know, they always put their little accents to it. As you can see, it's got the Zuffa logo in the middle, 70 plus carats of diamonds. So it's more diamond and silver than it is, you know, like rubies and stuff as the rubies and gold, like for the UFC title. Yeah, it's not too bad of a looking belt for sure. They got some plates on it. You know, they got the Ali plate, gunmetal end cap, it says. The right side has victories represented by black diamonds. So instead of the rubies in the belt that you get for the UFC titles, you got black diamonds for this one. Let's see what else. Obviously, leather strap. Left side of the plate includes a weight class name and country flag, so similar to the UFC belt. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. But I mean, not too bad of a looking belt. Like I said, it's kind of a cross between the BMF title and the regular UFC championship belt. So yeah, let's get to UFC 326. And we got the BMF title, speaking of, on the line here with Holloway versus Oliveira 2. And yeah, it's a rematch. Their first fight happened a long ass time ago. I don't remember exactly when. I think it was like damn near 10 years ago or something like that. Let me take a look real quick. I know that Max Holloway got the win over oh shit, where is it? This was back in 2015. So yeah, 11 years ago at this point. And Charles Oliveira was basically TKO'd due to injury, where he had that weird like shoulder, whatever it was, shoulder injury or some shit like that, where it seemed like he said he felt like he got paralyzed. And everyone just chalked it up to the fact that Charles Oliveira back in the day was considered a quitter, that he basically quit whenever things got rough in the cage. And then he had a kid, and once he had his kid, it seemed like a whole different Charles Oliveira, and he was no longer that what people considered a quitter. He turned into a damn great fighter, a champion, a BMF in his own right, according to Max Holloway. He's got impressive submission skills, but he can also fight on the feet. And while we saw him, you know, kind of, oh man, just look really, really bad against Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria makes a lot of people look bad, so that's tough. But Charles is a legend, and yeah, he's a former champion and all that. So is Max Holloway. So this should be a good fight. Not too bad for the main event, even though it's a BMF title. I know how people feel about that, but you know what? The BMF title's been around for a minute. Max Holloway is a good representation for the BMF title. With his pointing down in the last 10 seconds, he's the only one that's been able to pull it off correctly. He basically got it started, and he's the only one that does it, and it's legit. I've been thoroughly impressed with Zuffa boxing. Like, if people don't like it, it's because they're not watching. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like I said, it started off a little bit slow. You didn't hear a whole lot about it, but that third event really got a lot of eyes and attention. And then the signings with Pataya and kind of Conor Ben. So there's a lot. I think the UFC is just the UFC, Dana White is just putting things together to really grow that organization. And with the shakeups with Eddie Hearn and everything, yeah, we're gonna definitely have to keep an eye out on Zuffa boxing for sure. But yeah, we got the BMF title here, like I said, and Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira du Bronx. I feel like it's gonna be a good fight regardless. I don't know how it couldn't be, but I've been wrong in the past, so you never know. Let's get to the prelims and take a look at what we got going on there. We got Luke Fernandez versus Rodolfo Belloto. Belloto is, oh my god, man, this guy is, I don't know. Every time I see him fight, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't know what his deal is. He's constantly complaining about shit, even the slightest of grazes to his eye or near his groin. He's complaining like it was the worst thing that ever happened to him. Almost like he wants the fight stopped and just him given the fight. That's what I've seen out of him. So, I could be wrong. I mean, he's 12-3, but in the UFC, he is 1-1 with a no contest to Paul Craig as well. He got a majority decision win over Jimmy Crute, was that a win? No, is that a win? No, that was a draw. He's had one draw, one no contest, one win, and one loss. Navajo Sterling beat him in his last outing against by unanimous decision in September of last year. He beat Ihor Pretoria by ground and pound with a fight of the night bonus. So he looked good in his first fight in the UFC. He looked good in the Contender Series, but just starting with that fight with Jimmy Crute, it was just ridiculous. All right, I'm here now. But before we get to Zuffa boxing, do you think we'll have Tyson Fury level guys? I don't know, man. Zuffa boxing is just getting started. So what's up, Tyler Fish? I don't know. I mean, if they start signing guys like they have been, I mean, of course we could definitely get some crazy stuff going on in Zuffa. I think this stuff with Eddie Hearn is gonna really light a fire under Dana's ass for sure. So and they're gonna be kind of having a war. I don't see how it couldn't be. We will get better than Fury. Yeah, you never know. It takes a long time for guys like that to come up, so we have a long time to wait. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen overnight. So, and we're not even a year in. So there's a lot to, I don't know. Zuffa boxing has the potential to get a lot of talent and grow a lot of talent, but we'll see. It's tough to get the UFC wasn't that exciting for the first bit of time. So I think they have promotion and stuff like that down at this point. So, and they have the backing of the Saudis. So a lot of money's coming in. They could make a lot of things happen. But yeah, back to the prelims. So we got Luke Fernandez coming in at 6-0 versus Rodolfo Belloto, and Fernandez is making his UFC debut coming off the Contender Series where he got a TKO by strikes over Rafael Pergentino in the Contender Series. He was 5-0 in CFFC, so he'll be coming in. Belloto, like I said, he had a draw, no contest, a loss. He's inconsistent as hell, and Fernandez seems to be a hot prospect. He's got some quick finishes, some clean boxing, and it's going to be one of those, can the new guy come in and make light work of a guy that's been in there for a few fights, especially with the weirdness that Belloto's had. Are these the prelims or early prelims? These are the early prelims. So I just started from the bottom. This is the first fight of the night on the prelims. So yeah, I don't know what kind of fight we're gonna get out of this, considering how Belloto fights. We could get a quick finish from Fernandez. That's kind of what he does. So that could be a possibility. And Bellator, I don't know, man. If he fights back the way he did the first fight in his UFC career and in the Contender Series, if these were the prelims, just throws a card in the trash. Oh, man. You can't be so negative all the time, Tyler. You just, I mean, I get it. You're being real, but you don't have to be so negative all the time. This isn't the greatest card in the world, but you're not going to get the greatest card in the world for a while. Now, next card is going to be pretty damn great. 327 is going to be pretty good. But with the White House coming, yeah, you're positively negative. That's 100% the truth. But yeah, whatever. I mean, that's how that goes. Everyone's negative about shit all the time. I am too. I can't say that I'm not. But anyway, next up we got Zhang Yang Li versus Gaston Bolanos. We are all boycotting the White House. Li is 11-3. Bolanos is 8-5. And we got, let's see, where we at? Why did I, oh, did I get that? Okay, yeah. My notes are backwards. I skipped one here, but yeah, I was gonna be at the White House card to watch, you know, Ash moves. Okay. How do you feel about the BMF title? We've only had great cards because of the belt. I mean, I think that the BMF title, it is what it is. I wasn't that big on it, but in the beginning, it is what it is, man. I don't know. The fact that Max Holloway has it now makes it better, because he seems like the perfect person to have that. And you saw the fight between him and Justin Gaethje, but then Gaethje versus Poirier was good too. It seems like you know, the recent BMF title fights have been pretty damn good. Oh, got you. They haven't released any of the fights yet. So how do you know who's gonna be there? That's what I want to know. What kind of insider information do you have? I haven't seen any fight matches being announced yet. So yeah, I don't know how you know that, but okay. Winner, aka Max, got to defend the belt at 170 next. I'm surprised they haven't made more BMF titles in other divisions, to be honest with you. Okay, sure. I don't know what to believe with Tyler anymore. He rage baits and gaslights too much. Invisible. Anyway, yeah, so we got Lee versus Bolanos in the featherweight division. 11-3 for Lee, 8-5 for Bolanos, and let's see. I'm not even entertaining it anymore. Lee, let's see. I mean, I don't know really what to. I don't really know what to touch on with this fight. These are. It's one of those fights where there's not a ton going on here. It could be. I don't know, man. I don't even know who I'm going for in this fight. Zhang Li in his last fight. Hold on. He's 2-2 in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Hyder Emil and Daniel Santos, he lost TKO and decision, while Bolanos is 2-2 as well in the UFC, coming off a loss to Quang Lee by submission. He beat Cortavius Ramius by decision, and he lost to Marcus McGee. So he's been on a win-lose type streak. So, you know, we could get anything out of these two guys. We'll have to just wait and see. We'll move on to Tobias versus Nurgazai. Rafael Tobias making his UFC debut. 14-1 for Tobias. And he's coming out the Contender Series as well. A lot of Contender Series guys on this one. he won in the Contender Series by rear naked choke in the first round. So he's looking to get a big win in the UFC as well after his big win in the Contender Series. Dayar Nurgazai is 0-2 in the UFC, lost to Brenton Hibero and lost to Yuran Sadibaldiev, both by submission, a Kimura and Ezekiel choke. So we got submission losses 2 in a row for Nurgazai. And yeah, with that being said, Tobias is 6-0 by submission, 5-1 by TKO. So Nurgazai is gonna have to keep this off the ground because his only two fights in the UFC have been losses by submission, and yeah, that's gonna be tough for him. So we'll see if it gets to the ground, and if it does, it's kind of be tough for Nurgazai there. His only 2 losses in his career have been in the UFC, so maybe he's just wasn't ready for this high level competition, but we'll see if he can turn it around. You know, I always say Merab, you know, started his career with 2 losses as well, but they were close fights. Nurgazai's losing by submission in both of his 2 fights, so that's a tough one. So next up, we got Sumandarji versus Jesus Aguilar, and Sumandarji's 18-7, Aguilar's 12-3. Yeah, these guys are looking to try to pull forward in the flyweight division. You know, there's a lot going on in that division right now, but Sumandarji is you know, he's a little bit up there with the kind of fights that he's had. He's on a 2-fight win streak with decision wins over Mitch Raposo and Kevin Borjas. He strikes with some volume. Aguilar's gritty and scrappy with finishes in the regional circuit, but you know, it's gonna be pressure, and maybe doesn't Jesus Aguilar have the shortest reach in the UFC? I don't know. Let me see. Does it say reach here? Hold on. 62.62.5 inches. Maybe. He's only 5'4", but I mean, these guys are in the flyweight division, so what y'all season your steak with? I'm cooking right now. I'm not gonna lie, that might be right then. Yeah, that does seem pretty low, actually, Tyler. Fish. Tyler Betts. I have a whole cabinet full of seasonings. I mix all kinds of seasonings all the time, but I mean, that's not bad. Salt, pepper, thyme, butter. I mean, throw some garlic in there. I have a couple different seasonings, blends that I use. And yeah, but sometimes the most simple combinations turn out to be the best. You got to be careful with that liquid smoke, man. It's time is everything. Red pepper. Oh yeah, red pepper flakes, definitely. But be careful with that liquid smoke, man, because that shit is potent, and you put too much of that, you're gonna taste that shit for 2 weeks. Believe me, I know. Made myself choke on that one. Anyway, yeah, Aguilar and Sumandarji is your last fight on that one. Let's move on to the other prelims. The fuck is liquid smoke? It's literally, dude, it tastes and smells like smoke. It's like fake smoke. That shit sounds stupid. And it's like to get smoky flavors and things, but it's super strong, it's super potent and concentrated, so you gotta like a couple dashes and that's it, otherwise it gets nuts. But yeah, I'd rather just use a smoker, honestly. I actually use my smoker as a grill because you get that like smoky wood kind of flavor on it regardless. Oh yeah, jerky marinade. Okay, that makes sense, Tyler. That definitely makes sense. But yeah, I use my smoker as a grill. So I just cook everything on it, and you get that good smoky flavor on everything, even though you're not really smoking for hours. So, all right, so we got, this is funny because we actually have 3 Codys on this card. Getting back to the prelims here, we have 3 Codys in the prelims. Cody Durden, Cody Brundage, and Cody Garbrandt, which is fucking insane. So we start off with Cody Durden versus, holy shit, this guy's fucking name, Tumen Dembril. I'm not even going to attempt his first name. But yeah, we got Durden with 17-9. And we'll just call him Tumen. Cody Brundage is here. Fogo Chow. Okay. Triple Cody parlay. To win or lose, though, I think they're all underdogs. So actually to win would be good. That would pay you out. Yeah, they are fucking all underdogs. It's insane. Slight underdog for Garbrandt at 135. Slight underdog for Durden at 140. And plus 370 for Brundage. Trying to say two. I definitely can't. Two Codys will win. Okay, which Cody will not? That's what I want to know. But anyway, we got 17-9 for Cody Durden. Whatever the fuck. Tumen is what's the first name? I actually don't know. Shit, let me get to it. It is Nyam Jargal, NYAMJARGAL, NYAMJARGAL, Nyam Jargal, Tumen Dembril. It's fucking tough, man. Anyway, these guys are fighting it out in the flyweight division. That really named bro with the entire alphabet. Yeah, for sure. Dude, Tyler, I've been wanting to go back to Applebee's. Shit. So yeah, Durden. Yeah, he gets into crazy scraps sometimes, man, and Tumen is kind of a guy coming up he's got some legit finishes in his career. Let's look at Durden real quick. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. So yeah, you can't bet on Tyler Durden. I'm Tyler Durden. I looked at Tyler and I read Durden. Cody Durden. Fucking Fight Club over here. You can't bet on Cody Durden because this motherfucker. But he lost to Joshua Van to start that 3-fight losing streak. Jose Ochoa and Alan Nascimento. We got a decision over with Van, and then a TKO, and then a sub. So he's got every kind of way to lose. So so what's next? So I don't know what Tumen's gonna do to him, but we could definitely see another Cody Durden loss and maybe getting cut from the UFC at this point. Tumen is 1-1 with coming off a submission win over Terrence Saturn, I think, and he lost to Carlos Hernandez. So that's starting off this portion of the prelims. Next, we got Ricky Turcios, that crazy dude from fucking The Ultimate Fighter. He won The Ultimate Fighter. Kind of reminded me of a little bit of the way that Tony Ferguson was with the craziness in the house and stuff like that, but he's not as good of a fighter as Tony Ferguson was, that's for sure. At least I feel like he's not. He's fighting Alberto Montez, who's 10-1, and I believe is making his UFC debut. Yeah, he's coming from the Contender Series where he got a submission win by Anaconda choke. Back in 2024, he had a couple canceled bouts over the past couple years, and he's finally making his UFC debut against Ricky Turcios. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. Turcios. Yeah, sometimes I can't find his some guys that only have like 1 or 2 fights. Sometimes I can't even find their regular photo. So I still get some that are a little bit grayed out. Because they don't update all of them all the time, or else I can't find them all the time sometimes. So but yeah, Turcios is 2-3 in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He lost to Raul Rosas Jr., who's fighting on this card as well, by submission, and then he lost to Bernardo Sopaj by decision in his last fight back in January of last year. When's the last time you watched a full season of Ultimate Fighter and they just announced a new season, strawweights and male 135? The last time I watched a full one, I don't know, because I always start watching them and then they get boring to me, so then I just stop watching them. I would say probably about 2 or 3 years ago was the last time I really watched a full season, maybe. It just depends on who's involved and who's coaching to get really. I think maybe the last one I watched the full season of was Connor versus Chandler. That was probably the last one I watched the full season of, which was a while back. Okay, Tyler. They do need heavyweights, so they definitely need to make that show. But Tercio's losing record in the UFC. We'll see how he does against Montez making his debut. Next up, we have Dante Johnson versus Cody Brundage. And yeah, yet another Cody on the fight card. And he's the biggest underdog out of the three Codys. Thoughts on Max seeming to say that the point to the ground is at the end of the fight as opposed to the start? That's legit, man. I don't see how anybody could. I never thought anybody could get away with doing it any other time. I've seen these guys like recently pointing at to the ground and fucking with a minute or more left, and I'm like, you're not doing that. First of all, nobody's that game. Second of all, that's just stupid. That's just stupid. The last 10 seconds is the point to the ground came about because most of the time, if guys are on their feet in the last 10 seconds, they just start throwing. I mean, if you're really like wanting to get that win and maybe you're not sure if you're gonna win, you try to get that at the end. It kind of happens that way. What's up, Christian? How you doing? Almeida point down. Yeah. So I mean, it started with Ricardo Lamas and Max Holloway. You know, that was like the first real one where everyone was crazy about it. So I think I think that definitely the last 10 seconds is when it needs to happen. So if you're doing it in any other time than that, it's kind of dumb. And also, if you're not Max Holloway and doing it, you better do it right. Otherwise, you're just gonna get clowned on because, yeah, you're fucking it up. Anyway, we got Cody Brundage versus Dante Johnson. Johnson's undefeated at 7-0. Brundage is 11-8. Kind of a rugged guy, and a grinder, pretty much. You know, he gets hit a lot, and yeah, he's one of those guys you just can't count on either. Dante Johnson, like I said, 7-0, 1-0 in the UFC, got a submission win over Cedric Dumas, but it's easy to get that guy out of there. If Holloway points to the floor, Charles should point. Jesus. Cody Brundage is coming off a loss as well. 2 losses in a row. Eric McConico and Cam Rouston, a decision and then a TKO. So he hasn't won since, March of 2025. I'm sorry. That seemed like it was further back than that. But that was a TKO win for him there. So he's been fighting a lot. He had 3 fights in 2025. And this will be his first fight he's already had 1 fight in 2026 where he lost back in January. So making the quick turnaround here to try to get a win. Max can never point to the ground ever again because he didn't engage Ilya when Ilya pointed to the floor and wanted to get busy. No, that's because Ilya did it at the beginning of the fight. Like, what the hell was that? And he didn't have a chance to get to the last 10 seconds. So I don't think that's valid at all. But yeah, anyway, that's Dante Johnson versus Cody Brundage. And now we get to the last Cody on the card, Cody Garbrandt versus Long Zhao. Garbrandt's 14-7, Zhao's 27-10, which is crazy. Obviously Cody Garbrandt being a former bantamweight champion, road to the octagon fighter. Long Zhao from China, tough guy, definitely a tough opponent for Cody. But I mean, Garbrandt still has some decent power, a little bit of speed. But I mean, he's definitely not the Cody of old. Zhao has some good durability too, so you know, Cody might not be able to just overpower him. But Garbrandt is coming off two losses in a row. One to Davison Figueiredo losing by sub, and one to Raoni Barcelos where he lost by decision. Ilya said, "Fuck it, fuck the end of the fight. Do that in the beginning." I don't think it is, man. I don't really think it is. I think that was just like what kind of bullshit is this? If you're not doing it if you make it to the end, do it at the end. Doing it at the beginning, like, what? I don't know. I don't think it was a cold move. I thought it was kind of whack, actually. And Max no sold it. I mean, the only bad part is that he then got knocked out. So Trump can. Jesus. All right. Then we let's look at Long Zhao. He is 1-2 in the UFC, coming off that loss to Su Young Yu by unanimous decision, but he beat Quang Lee by TKO in the third round. So he also lost to Chang Ho Lee. So he's really just been fighting a bunch of Asian dudes. And now we'll see what Cody Garbrandt has for him. Let's move into this main event, or main card. And we start with RoboCop versus Bruno Ferreira. This is a rematch. Sorry, I was reading. Garbrandt decision. I mean, I would hope that it would be entertaining, but I mean, I think that's a given now. It's pretty easy to say that now when we saw what happened. Jesus. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a rematch. I think Ferreira got the win in their last matchup, which was back in 2023. He got a TKO win over RoboCop. So we'll see if he can do it again. RoboCop is 18-6 overall, 9-3 in the UFC, 10-4 by KO TKO, 4-0 by sub, and 4-2 by decision. So he's never been subbed. That's something to, because they could be scared. He's on a 2-fight win streak with wins over Roman Kopylov and Jack Hermanson. TKO over Hermanson, decision over Kopylov. Two pretty tough opponents there. He got the performance of the night bonus over Hermanson. And yeah, and then Bruno Ferreira is 33, 15-2 overall, 6-2 in the UFC, 9-1 by KO TKO, 5-1 by sub, and 1-0 by decision. He's on a 3-fight win streak, and like I said, he beat RoboCop before. We got his 3-fight win streak is Marvin Vettori by decision back in December of last year, Jackson McVeigh by sub, and Armin Petrosian by sub as well. So 2 submission wins there, but RoboCop's never been submitted. So if it goes to the ground, you know, that could be a tough battle there. But maybe they keep it on the feet. And as you can see here, they both have some decent power, some good punches going on in those pictures. Ferreira's last loss was by submission to Abu Smagomedov. And yeah, RoboCop's got good volume and pace. He's definitely hits hard. We've seen him knock some people out, and yeah, he's got good takedown defense as well. And then Ferreira has a good finishing rate, multiple first round KOs, and yeah, he's aggressive. He's got pretty decent accuracy, and he has some legit submission wins. So he's got a little bit of everything going on, and he's already beat RoboCop. So we'll see if he can get that done again, or if RoboCop avenges his loss from last time. That's happening in the middleweight division. Let's move on to this fight. Just happened, low-key. Let's go to Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. This is an interesting fight just because Drew Dober is one of those guys that gets into fucking wars all the time. And he gets hit all the time too. And Michael Johnson actually looked pretty fast in his last fight, and I mean, was a good fight for him. He's actually on a 3-fight win streak, while Dober's coming off a win of his own. But Michael Johnson on a 3-fight win streak at 39 years old, so it's pretty impressive. 24-19 overall for Johnson, 28-15 for Dober. So both these guys are some vets, a lot of damn fights under their belt. They both have double digits in wins and losses in the UFC alone. 14-11 for Dober, 16-15 for Johnson. Not the best records in the world. That's a lot of fucking losses on both of their records, but damn, Drew Dober has the craziest built chin, but his actual chin, like in fighting terms, isn't the best. I mean, I feel like he takes a lot of damage. That's the problem. He just gets hit a lot. So it's, yeah, I mean, he's 12-4 by KO TKO, 9-4 by sub, and 7-7 by decision. Well, Johnson is 10-3 in the UFC. 10-3 by KO TKO, 2-9 by sub, and 12-7 by decision. That's a lot of fucking wins by decision. Only 2 wins by sub. He's got a losing record by submission, while Dober has more wins than losses in that submission column. So if my fucking computer would work, why is it lagging? What is happening here? Hold on. Okay, well, that I swear Tapology should win for obvious reasons here. Okay. Tapology sometimes is such a pain in the ass website. It will just give you the biggest problems. All right, let's see. Let me in now. There we go. Where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, 9-4 by submission for Drew Dober. You think Drew Dober's chin finally cracked? He's coming off a TKO win over Kyle Prepolek, but before that he lost 2 TKOs in a row to Manuel Torres and Jean Silva, and then a decision to Renato Moicano. So you got to think though, Moicano and Silva, those are tough fights. I mean, actually Torres is a tough fight too. What am I saying? So he's under. Oh shit. Okay. Fucking A. Yeah, so I mean, just looking at the experience of both these guys, I just, with Michael Johnson and his speed and the fact that he can get to Dober before Dober can, get out of the way, basically, makes me feel like, oh shit. Makes me feel like it's going to be a tough one for Dober. I mean, Michael Johnson has some decent striking, obviously. When it comes down to it, Johnson has a few inches of reach over Dober, and yeah, they're about the same on accuracy for striking, it looks like. And then neither one of them is really like a big wrestler or grappler. I guess Johnson has pretty decent takedown defense. Okay, Tyler, I don't really care that much. But I just think that Michael Johnson has the way he's looked in his pre. I mean, he beat Daniel Zellhuber, which, I mean, doesn't say a whole lot considering Zellhuber just seems to keep dropping fights. He beat Ottoman Azitar by TKO in the second round and got a performance of the night bonus on that one. And then he beat Darius Flowers by decision. So he's got 2 out of his 3 wins by decision. His last loss was a TKO to Diego Fajeda. So yeah, I mean, it could go either way here. I do think that it's an interesting fight. So not too bad of a fight either in the lightweight division. Couple vets going at it. Let's move on to Rob Font versus Raul Rosas Jr., the youngster at 21 for Rosas. He's been kind of around since he was just turning 18. And he's 11-1 overall, 5-1 in the UFC. He hasn't been stopped at all. 2-0 by KO TKO, 6-0 by sub, and 3-1 by decision. He's on a 4-fight win streak, and he's fighting Rob Font, much older guy at 38 years old, a lot more experience, 22-9, 12-8 in the UFC. He's got more fights in the UFC alone than Rosas has overall. But he hasn't been stopped on the feet. He's 9-0 by KO TKO, and 4-1 by sub, 9-8 by decision. He is coming off a loss. Let's see who that loss was to for Rob Font. Hunk season. He's coming off a loss to David Martinez, who we just saw fight last week and got the win over who the fuck did he just beat? Oh, Chito Vera. So I mean, David Martinez is a tough opponent, and it took Rob Font took him to unanimous decision and win for David Martinez. Before that, he was on a 2-fight win streak over John Matsumoto and Kyler Phillips, both decision wins though. So Chiwiwis by decision. That makes sense. I mean, he is on a 4-fight win streak. Let's take a look at his last 4 opponents. Vince Morales by decision. Aor Quayling by decision, Ricky Tercios by sub, and Terrence Mitchell by TKO. He got performance of the night bonuses with those wins over Tercios and Mitchell, or Terrence. Did I say Terrence? Yeah, Terrence Mitchell. He got bonuses there, and then his last 2 fights were decisions with no bonuses. I don't know, man. I still got to see a little more out of Rosas. I mean, he lost to Christian Rodriguez by decision. Yeah. But then he went on this 4-fight win streak. So yeah, we'll see what we get out of him. Can he beat the vet? I don't know if he's gonna fight for I don't know if he's gonna fight for a title that quick. I feel like he started off really hot, but I don't know that. Yeah, Rodriguez is definitely good. That's why I mean, I don't hold it against him too much that he lost that fight, but you know, I feel like he started off really hot, and then, you know, he just he tries to do too many flashy things. Yeah, his striking does need some work for sure. He said he wanted to retire by 25. Yeah, good luck. I mean, everybody says that kind of shit. Oh, I'm done by 30. I'm done by 35. I'm done by this age. It's like, well, you know, if you don't do a whole lot and you don't make a lot of money, you're probably not going to be done by that time. We've just seen it too much, but who knows? Good for him if he gets it done that way. I will say that, good for him. But yeah, I don't know if he's fighting for a title too quickly. He's not in a division that is super thin. I think there's some decent competition in the bantamweight division. It's not like the best, but I don't think it's like heavyweights right now where you can just jump in after 2 wins. He's got 4 wins in a row and isn't even like in the top 15. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when he gets higher competition. Rob Font's one of those guys that's a little bit better. Shit, I wish I was retired too, Infinity. Tyler, the only thing you're retired from is making sense on everything you say, because you just troll too much. So you should just retire from that. But let's move on to the next fight. We got Kyle Borralho back to the Fighting Nerds against Rainier de Ritter, or De Quitter, according to a lot of people. So yeah, I mean, we know what happened with RDR in his last fight. Unfortunately for him, he did quit on the stool basically. So he is coming off that loss to Brendan Allen, which, I mean, Brendan Allen's a tough opponent, but RDR was on a bit of a streak that, you know, seemed like he could have, you know, it looked like he was doing well. I mean, he's coming off that win, that Bo Nickel win, and then beating Robert Whittaker. And, you know, it wasn't like the craziest fight against Whittaker, but stopping Bo Nickel like he did, you know, that was impressive. And then coming back and beating Whittaker. But yeah, Brendan Allen fight was tough for RDR. And he said something about struggling with anemia or something like that, and all that shit. But, you know, everyone's just gonna talk about he doesn't choose to compete, Antoine. He just doesn't know how to fucking manage his money right. So he just wants money. That's all. He wants more and more money. He doesn't want to live a lower level of life than he's living now. So but he sucks at keeping his money, from what it seems. So, but yeah, it's just a whole different conversation. But yeah, Kyle Borralho coming off a loss as well. Who did he lose to? I forgot. Oh yeah, Nasruddin Imavov. That was a unanimous decision win for Imavov. Before that, he was on a pretty damn good streak. That was his first loss in the UFC. Actually, he's 7-1, so he had a 7-fight win streak going on, and he beat like Jaron Cannonier, Paul Craig, Abus Magomedov, Mikhail Zaechuk, Armin Petrosyan. He beat a lot of decent guys, and oh my god, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah. RDR's, I mean, he's never been finished on the ground. We know he has good submissions because he's got 14 wins by submission. Never been submitted himself. He's never lost by decision either. He's got 3 wins there. 50 Cent and Harry Potter books. What's up, Christian? What are you? That's crazy. What's yeah, I don't know. I'm reading at the other ones. I'm like, oh my god. Shit. I don't even want to say what some of those say. It's on the screen. Anyway, 4-1 for RDR. That last loss being his first loss in the UFC. And then same with Kyle. He's never been stopped. He's only got 2 decision losses. 4-0 by sub, 5-0 by KO, TKO, and 7-1 in the UFC. So yeah, with these guys, I'm hoping for a good fight here, but I don't know if Kyle comes out looking like he was in the past, then before that loss to Imavov, I think and if RDR comes out looking like he did against Allen, this could be over quick, very quick. But but RDR, if he redeems himself here and gets out of that funk that he was in, this could be a damn good fight between these two guys, just because of the skills that they both have. Kyle kind of has a little bit of everything, and RDR is obviously way better on the ground, but we saw him get that finish against Bo Nickel with that knee up the middle, which is nasty because he does that a lot. If RDR stops on the stool again, send him back to the big B leagues. Yeah, I don't know, man. I definitely think they give him his 3 losses in a row type shit, or even 3 losses in general, but I think they see the potential in RDR. It's just, yeah, we got to see what happens now after he bounces back or tries to bounce back from that loss, just because it was a bad look with that loss against Allen. While Brendan Allen's a good fighter and all, RDR just looked like he just didn't want to be in there whatsoever, and then just quitting on the stool like he did is tough. So Kyle has great accuracy with his strikes and defends well. Overall good game. He's not just a one-trick pony. He can kind of do a little bit of everything. But what kind of pace is he gonna put on RDR? And what kind of shape is RDR going to be in? If you look at pictures of him right now, he looks way better than he did in that Allen fight. So that could just be promising for him, that he's in better shape, and maybe he was having some issues and now he's better. So 13 out of his 21 wins are by submission for RDR. And he usually tries to get let's see what the hell's happening, because I'm not seeing RDR the type of guy to be going and quitting on the toilet. Maybe it's because everything Tyler says doesn't seem to come up in the chat. Only on the screen chat. Somebody say something normal and we'll see if it actually pops up, because I haven't seen anything since Christian said that. Yeah, there it is. There you go, Tyler. You said something normal and it actually came up in the chat. Oh man. So yeah, if I feel like it could be a great fight if RDR's in better condition. I don't think Kyle's gonna let that loss take him down. I know that when it comes down to it, the fighting nerds just had trouble. They all hit a bump in the road, but Prates made his way back, and did well. I feel like Jean Silva's made his way back already. It was kind of just a quick one for them. Everyone got a loss, and while Rufy kind of strayed away from the team and stuff, I feel like the fighting nerds still have a lot of potential, and I don't think that we should all give up on them after one fucking loss. calling fraud check just because of one loss. It's like, let's give them a chance to bounce back, man. Let's see what happens. You don't even talk shit about some of these guys that have 2-3 losses in a row, and yet these guys get one loss and everyone acts like it's fucking over for them. And it's kind of similar for RDR, but it was a bad look for him to quit on the stool. So I can understand why people would be so critical of him, especially because he was a double, a 2-division champion in one championship. But that speaks a lot to the opposition over there as opposed to over in the UFC. So it's one of those things where, a guy comes over from a different organization and the UFC proves to him that he wasn't fighting the type of competition that the UFC has to offer. So personally, I think MMA is the only sport fans act like, man, I could do that, but most people don't like to get hit. Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, but that's kind of any combat sport, because everyone has the internal kind of natural fight instinct. Even if you don't think you have it or don't ever act on it, everyone thinks that they could do something when it comes to a fight. I mean, I've lost fights before. It is what it is. But I fought a lot back in the day on the streets. Why do fans hate on fighters so much? Because they're so accessible, I think. You know what I mean? Like with social media nowadays, like everyone, you can hate on everyone because it's just easy. And because you see these fighters go out there and respond to some of this shit, responding on social media. Yeah, like they're talking shit and spending their Saturday. Well, see, because they like to hate watch. Hate watching is a thing. Just like, you want to, if you don't like Sean Strickland, you're going to watch to see him get knocked the fuck out. Oh yeah, I've been in bar fights, street fights, just stupid shit. I've done dumb shit because I was drunk and just decided to, somebody was looking at me wrong. I've defended people. I've, got into just stupid fights because I was young and dumb. I've got into fights at school. There's a lot of stories. I don't know that I want to tell them on the internet though. So, but yeah, I mean, people will hate watch, and that's why they talk shit and then watch them on Saturday because, because it's one of those things. And a lot of people think if they're watching the fight, they'll look at it and be like, oh, that guy doesn't look like much. I could, and if you got a little bit of a decent build or you're just a big dude, of course you're going to think that you can fucking beat anybody. You know what I mean? I get it. Like I said, I've lost my fair share of fights because I thought I had some, was he really looking at you sideways? Oh yeah. Yeah. Dude, people, just because I'm a big dude, people decide, oh, I'm a big guy with all kinds of tattoos, look like somebody that might be gangbanging or something, I guess. I don't know. If you know me, that's the furthest from the truth. But, just because I have a certain look, I mean, I'm sleeved up. I mean, back in the day when people were, they want to challenge the big guy, and maybe I wasn't big this way back then, but I was just a big dude in general, so... I'm giving him oiled up John Jones. But yeah, that's just how it is. I mean, I don't know. It's like, but yeah, I want RDR to not fight like he did in the last one. How tall am I? Shit, I'm 5'11". I'm not even 6 foot, which sucks. My dad's like 6'3". I don't know why I got the short bug, but I wish I was at least like 6'1", but I'm 5'11". Is 160 big enough for that treatment? RDR getting submitted? Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I want to see how he bounces back. That's my biggest thing. Both these guys is that tale of bouncing back. What's going to happen? How are they going to take their first loss in the UFC? Obviously, short bug, my brother's 5'2". Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not the smallest guy, like, at all. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I got friends that are all, like, shorter than me or close to my height. I only have, like, one friend that's way taller, but he's like a twig. He's very skinny. He's definitely not a fighter. Football inside corner, main. Oh, fastball inside corner. I just said football. I'm like, what? Your bro is Lord Farquaad. As long as he doesn't have that fucking hair. Oh shit. Anyway, yeah, this could be an interesting fight though. I do feel like it could be a damn good fight if they both bounce back and are really hungry to get a win. And I'm just ready to see it, because again, I'm not gonna give up on them just because they lost once, even though RDR looked really bad on that last fight. Apparently people in Biggie was a jock in high school. I definitely was not. I played baseball, so you can't. I mean, sure, I could be a jock playing baseball, but I definitely wasn't. I was just a troublemaker. But yeah, I mean, I think apparently RDR had some trouble with seemingly quitting back in the day in one championship too. So that's what people are kind of basing it off of, and thinking that I'm basically just hoping that he comes out there ready to give Kyle a fight, because I think it'd be a good one. So that brings us to the main event. He was an asshole. I'm still an asshole, so it's all good. I'm ready to see Baldy announce the White House card. Yeah, we fucking definitely need to. You gave out swirlies for breakfast and knuckle sandwiches for lunch, right? No, I definitely wasn't that, but I just didn't let people fuck with me, that's all. Oh my god. Anyway, main event, BMF title, Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. So these guys have fought before, like I said earlier. Rematch for them. Charles Oliveira had that freak injury. He came out and said recently that it was one of those like he was basically almost paralyzed. It was weird. He was grabbing his shoulder. It looked like he was in a lot of pain. No, I never skateboarded. I mean, in high school, like before high school, we would go riding our bikes all the time, and so we would ride our bikes all around town and just kind of get back when it got dark. Other than that, playing video games and watching movies. But yeah, besides that, in high school, I was just girls and fucking fights and baseball. That's a lot of what I did in high school. Charles by sub or decision? Oh shit. See, I don't know. This is the thing here, because obviously Max Holloway, great boxing. He's great on his feet. You know, he admitted to Charles being great on his feet too. He said he always gets someone down with his striking before he before he takes him down, or before he gets on the ground with them and submits them. So he's like, yeah, he submits a lot of people, but he gets them to the ground by beating them on their feet. Yeah, I was actually a Braves fan before 95. I think I've been a Braves fan since like 93 or 92. So yeah, I definitely watched that season. What was your favorite video game back then? Probably 2K shit, honestly. Sports games. I was playing sports games like crazy. So all the sports games, really. Christian. The Blessed Express, max by KO and over 3.5 plus 550. Damn. Yeah, that's a good one, Tyler. So yeah, I mean, Max, 27-8 overall, 23-8 by in the UFC, 12-1 by KO TKO. He's only been finished that one time by Ilya on the feet. 2-1 by submission, and 13-6 by decision. He is coming off a win over Dustin Poirier for that BMF title before, as we know. That this is his this will be his third fight as BMF. So yeah, and then in between that, he fought for the regular title with Ilya Topuria, where he got knocked out for the first time. And you know, as we know, as Tua decided to tell us over and over again earlier about Ilya dropping. But yeah, and as we know, Charles is great on the ground. A ton of submissions for Charles. 10-5 by KO TKO, but 22-4 by submission is insane. 4-2 by decision. He's coming off a win as well. He looked damn good in his last fight, even though he lost to Topuria as well. That's what both these guys have in common, is they lost back-to-back to Ilya Topuria by TKO. And then he came back and submitted Mateusz Gamrot, got a performance of the night bonus there. And that was in the second round. So, you know, Christian, or what was it? Christian, or who was saying? Yeah, Christian said Charles by sub or decision. I mean, Dana versus Oscar versus Eddie Hearn. I mean, yeah, that's the beef right now between those three, because Dana and Oscar are always at it. But yeah, so I mean, that's not far off for Christian. I get you saying that, but I don't know that Holloway is just on his game. I think that that loss to Ilya just set a fire under him again. And you know, he's got a lot of confidence, and I think he has enough skills to back that up as well. But you know, Charles is a legend in his own right, and you know, Max gives him his props. Charles, like he said, you know, can get you with the striking on the feet, drop you, and then get it to the ground and submit you. So there's a lot there. There's a lot to this fight, and for being the BMF title fight, I think it's a damn good matchup. And you know, Charles is gonna look for getting revenge for that loss back in the day where he had that weird freak injury, and obviously he was, you know, had to. Where does Charles rank on the all-time lightweight list? Oh, man, I honestly, I don't know. These questions always drive me crazy because it's just like there's so much to think about, man. Like, I just have too much in my head to ever come up with a quick answer for these. So a lot of times I don't answer them because there's so much, man. It's like, I don't know how anybody just comes, like Christian just says number 4, I think. If you're talking about for me personally, that's tougher. If you're talking about a legit stat, then I guess I could look that up, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. So, but Charles, I mean, you know, it's not like, you know, people want to give Conor so much props for what he did for the sport because he was so popular and he brought it mainstream so much. But I think that the type of fights that Oliveira's had, and the fact that he's been a champ, he's had so many 4 lightweights better than Charles all the time. He's had so many bonuses. Both these guys have a ton of bonuses, a ton of finishes, and beat a ton of like really good opponents. So, and I mean, they both have so many damn fights. It's just one of those things where if you want to put Conor McGregor up there without having defended a title, you definitely think Oliveira is one of the top guys for sure. Because I mean, he won the title and defended it at least once. So yeah, and then Holloway, while Holloway is just an all-time great in the featherweight division, considering all that he did in that division, and then, you know, moving up and still being able to get wins up here in the lightweight division. Khabib, Islam, and Charles, yeah, those are all great fighters in the lightweight division for sure. So, but yeah, that does it for the main card. Let's go to the Fight Wheel predictions that did absolutely horrible last week. 1-5. What kind of bullshit is that? I don't know. We went from 3-3 for 2 weeks in a row to 1-5. That's horrible. So let's see what the Fight Wheel does for us this week. I don't put any money on it all the time. Sometimes I'll decide to, but I just haven't been betting a bunch lately. So yeah, do what you will with these picks, but I do like to do it this way. It's a random, and then it's just fun to see how it does after the fights are over. Do you think Conor can be the rule to the exception, though, since he won a belt? Well, yeah, I mean, he's going to be a fucking Hall of Famer no matter what. It doesn't matter what I say. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Everyone's going to put him up there because of the popularity, because of what he did to bring the sport into mainstream. Of course, I give him his props for all that, too. So there's no denying any of that. But if you put the stats on the line, it's different. But it is what it is. You know, people are going to hold certain people up to a standard, I guess. But that's just me. Anyway, where we at? Okay, so let's get this going. Fight Wheel predictions, completely random. UFC 326, and let's see where the Fight Wheel starts, and that'll be, is it going to stop at Font? Yes, Rob Font to beat Raul Rosas Jr., which if Rosas is, you know, if he's going to keep up that streak of 4 wins in a row, then he's definitely going to have to beat Rob Font. And I think it's possible, but I could also see Font beating Raul as well. So that's your first pick of the night. Kind of a toss-up one. Let's go with pick number 2 for UFC 326. Michael Johnson to beat Drew Dober. And I saw a couple of you saying Dober would win that fight. So the fight wheel's predicting for Johnson to win. I definitely think with Johnson being on the streak that he's on, it is a good possibility that he beats Drew Dober. But Dober definitely has a chin that will hold up with a little bit of damage. And he's got skills of his own that he might be able to implement on Johnson. But I think Johnson's really fast, and he's looked really good in his last few fights. So it's a good possibility he could beat Drew Dober. Let's see what the fight wheel has next. 2 down, 3 to go. Next up, we got co-main event, Kyle Bahalio to beat RDR. That's what seems like everyone is thinking is going to happen. I'm just going to put Kyle because it makes it easy. So Kyle Bahalio to beat RDR in the co-main event for UFC 326. 2 left for the fight wheel predictions. 1-5 last week. Let's see if he can do better this week. Bruno Ferreira to get the second win over RoboCop. I think that I think it's possible, but I also think RoboCop is one of those guys that's tough to get out of there, and it's possible he gets that revenge. Actually, I'm just gonna write Bruno. So we'll see if RoboCop can come back and do better this time around and make it 1-1 for the series. Here we go. Last fight prediction for the fight wheel. I don't know. I don't think so. Max Holloway to win the BMF title versus Charles Oliveira. I feel like this is going to be a great fight, and it could definitely go either way, but I would definitely pick Max Holloway. That would be my pick for just slightly over Charles. I love them both. I respect them both. Yeah, I don't even do those visuals anymore, Infinity, so that's why you haven't seen it. That was when I was actually making my own picks, but I'm not doing that anymore, so I'm just doing the fight wheel. So yeah, I don't even have those graphics anymore. So yeah, that went away. But yeah, we got Rob Font to beat Raul Rosas Jr. We got Michael Johnson to beat Drew Dober, Kyle Bahalio to beat RDR, Bruno Ferreira to beat RoboCop, and Max Holloway to beat Charles Oliveira and defend his BMF title once again. So we'll see if that's how that goes down. Other than that, that's it for me. Oh yeah, before I forget, I only kind of forgot because of the fact that Yuri, what's up, Yuri? Welcome back. Yeah, on Saturday for UFC 326, I will have a watch party happening. Whether it's by myself or not, I haven't really gotten straight answers from the guys if they're going to come. I think Clark said he would, so maybe it'll just be me and him. Josh is undecided, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, but I'm going to have a watch party regardless. So even, never mind, Christian said. All right, Infinity. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided really if the guys, yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided yet what I want to do, because if they stay undecided, I might just do it alone. Because sometimes I like doing them solo, and I haven't done one in a minute. So we'll see. I'll let you know. But thank you, 78 Northwest. Appreciate you. Yeah, definitely come back on Sunday for the recap of UFC 326. But don't miss the fight, the watch party for UFC 326, the BMF title going down on Saturday. I will be live when the main card goes live. Fuck, let's ride. No yeah, all is good. Appreciate you, man. Yogi Bear, man. All right, guys, that's it for me. Watch party Saturday, recap on Sunday. Enjoy the fights. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Peace.